Today's program featured Dr. Heath Morrison, our Superintendent of CMS Schools, and Dr. LaBrie, who is the Vice President of Professional Education and the Dean of one of our colleges at Northeastern University. And I think, like all of the programs, we expect these to be very thoughtful conversations, to take a deeper dive into the topic areas. But what resonates with me today was the conversation around the connections in the community, the integration of the partnerships that take place within the Charlotte community and beyond, and how really we're having some genuine conversations now about public education that we may have tended to shy away from in the past.
What I've always believed is, however you define success in your school district, ultimately it's how many students you graduate, and then what's the quality of that diploma. Does that diploma in Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools let a young person go directly into the workforce and get a high-end job? Does it allow them to go directly into our university system and not have to take remedial courses? That, to me, is the most important way to define success in our school district. Ultimately, education is an opportunity for every child to have a better life, and part of that better life is to have a job that's fulfilling for them, that meets their needs, and so we have to prepare them for that. And so I think that makes a huge need for higher ed, K-12 to work together with workforce development so that we know what are the jobs in our local community, in our state, and our country now and in the future. And then we have to work in an aligned way, better than we ever have in the past, to make sure that we are preparing our students for the future that awaits them.
Universities in K-12 system have a very symbiotic relationship. What's good for one is going to be good for both. And so what's happening here at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School Systems with Heath's work has been very exciting to watch as it develops. What we're talking about is the same types of subjects, but we're talking about them at two different stages of an individual's education. So the CMS system is really looking at issues like, for example, workforce development, as well as how to fill the gender gap and the race gap within higher education and education generally. Those are issues that are very substantial for higher education as well. We have increasingly become much more focused at understanding what the workforce needs from a higher educational perspective. So the more work that goes into the K-12 system in a similar vein makes all of our work amplified. So it is a really exciting attribute to see CMS take these issues on with his leadership.
If you think about public education, it really is one of the cornerstones of any great city. When you talk to businesses that are coming and moving to the area, one of the first questions they ask is, how's the public education system? Because companies are made up of employees, and employees are made up of families, and families want the best for their children. And so, it becomes an economic conversation, but it also becomes a future conversation, because the children who are in the kindergarten class today in CMS will eventually be driving our country. And so we're investing a lot in them in hope that they will make some wise decisions for our community and our country going forward. And so we have to give them the right kinds of skills and aptitude and really a love of lifelong learning, so that they don't look at their education in K-12 as ending in 12th grade. But then how do I have a passion to continue my education, be that at a community college or a university or a certificate program or some other trade program, but just really instilling this passion of always looking for continual improvement.